So welcome back to the Unfinished TBR.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
it feels like forever since we've done this again.
It has been forever since we've done this.
Yeah.
But and I want to go ahead and point this out so I don't forget. It is February 1st. Which means this is the day that we would normally be snapping each other and being like, this is what I read for the month.
Yeah.
This fits so well.
Yes.
Like
Hannah's withdrawals are just so happy right
I
now.
am, and guess what? Potentially the next one could be the exact same way.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Because we have 28 days, exactly 4 weeks.
Snap.
Whew. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and plan on filming on March 1st to scratch that itch.
Yes.
I love it. All right. So I'm Hannah.
I'm Allie.
I'm Casey.
And this is another reading debrief. As you can tell, since we're so excited about since we're so excited about the day that we are doing this. So yes, I guess we need to start off. Oh, actually, I want to give a couple shout outs because we have had some activity on some YouTube.
Yes.
Yes.
Rhonda, love you. Glad you're catching back up.
Hi,
Gwen,
Mom.
love you. Thanks for always listening. Laura, thank you so much for listening. You guys are awesome. We've had so many new followers. Thank you so much. And
Becky always comments.
Becky is always. Thank you so much, guys.
Escape to Books.
Yes. Huge shout out to Escape to Books. Thanks for adding us on Goodreads.
We wish we knew your name.
Yes. But it is Escape to Books on Instagram and on Goodreads.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe leave us a comment and maybe we can get on a first name basis and just escape.
tell us what your name is.
You don't have to post it on YouTube. You can send us a message.
Yeah. It's all good. What are we currently reading, ladies?
Oh.
Okay. I am listening to, and I will finish by the time, like almost by the time I leave here, is The Life We Bury by Alan Eskins.
Okay.
It is a mystery. I have it from Libby. It was just on the available now. I haven't heard anybody talk about this. Why? That's the same way the no-show was, which we'll get into that.
Yes, we will.
What is it? Because I've heard nobody talk about it, so my expectations aren't high. That I'm like, this is good. Why is nobody talking about this?
That is a very interesting point, actually. I genuinely think that's got a lot
like I
to
don't
do with
have
things.
anything in my brain telling me, oh, this is
Positive
going to be
or
good,
negative.
right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm always like, what the heck? This guy deserves to be published.
Let his publisher know.
I am e-reading Iron Flame. Have you finished Iron Flame?
Not quite.
Good. Because if you spoil anything for me,
I won't.
I will punch you in the mouth.
You know me better than that. I will completely divert you
That's very true.
just for you to get whiplash coming
That's
back.
very true. That's very true. And I don't have anything physical. I have a 1-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah, those get
She will.
stolen.
Ripped.
So what are you currently reading?
The only things that I'm currently reading right now are I'm trying to finish up Flock by Kate Stewart.
Nice.
Okay.
And that's on Kindle.
Liking it
Nice.
so far?
I've liked what I've read so far.
Have you gotten
I don't know.
there?
Maybe there is the part that's scaring me, to be honest, because I think I'm right there.
You gotta be close, dude.
I know. I think I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. This
Don't
is
be
our
scared.
first time.
Don't be scared. They'll talk you through it.
They're gonna have to. I'm gonna need crayons and instructions to draw this out. We're gonna see how this goes.
I would love to see these pictures, especially if they're in crown.
I mean,
like what
I don't think we could post.
Definitely not. All right, so that's on Kindle.
That's it.
Okay.
You're not listening?
No, nothing else going on right now.
All right.
I wrapped up yesterday, like a ton of stuff these last few days.
Nice.
So
It's
you
going
need
to
a
be
break.
the
I
Casey
needed a
show at
break.
the end.
I
Look
know.
at that. That's exciting. Here we go. All right, so I am currently reading Layla by Colleen Hoover on my Kindle. Wow.
Yeah.
Already.
Uh-huh.
I'm not even to the 50% mark.
Really?
Really.
Oh wow.
And then my physical copy is my new beautiful Good Wives book that is just as gorgeous as my Little Women book. That was a roller coaster, getting to the end of that book and realizing, wait,
where's
Meg's
the rest?
not married. I know she gets married. And I
have Little Women at the house, and it's a lot larger than...
It must be both of them together then.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Why wouldn't it say Little Women and Good Wives?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know. But,
I don't know. But I'm glad that I know that going into it.
Yes.
I have had it on my TBR for 2 years. It may be another 5 before I get to it, but I know.
Yes. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. I'm very excited about it. And then my audiobook, I am still trying to get through Iron Flame. I've just not taken the time to sit down long enough, and I haven't been driving long enough because I haven't had a long enough trip. So, and then I've got the Outsiders. It's an accidental DNF. It's just I'm going to eventually restart it probably by myself. He's got like 4 new games that he's playing.
Oh my gosh.
And he's obsessed with UFC
that time of year
now.
though.
Yeah.
January is
we
usually...
lose our husbands in January usually.
So let's get into it. So you said I'm the first one?
Yep. Hannah, Alley.
Okay. So I finished on January 1st Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey.
Oh, okay.
Just
I didn't realize
cheesy?
it was Tessa Bailey.
Yeah, it's Tessa Bailey. It wasn't as cheesy as Wreck the Halls. I will say that. But it was still a little. It was
okay.
It was Tessa Bailey.
Yeah,
you know,
you got what you came for.
Yes.
You knew what you were getting walking in.
Yes, and it wasn't like too cringe like Wreck the Halls was.
I always give those 3 stars for being exactly what you were advertised,
right.
even though I'm disappointed I read it.
Right. So the synopsis is a sizzling standalone feel-good holiday romance from Tessa Bailey. 2 weeks before Christmas, and all through Manhattan, shop windows are decorated in red and green satin. I'm standing alone in front of the famous Vivant department store when a charming man named Aiden asks my opinion of the decor. This is all rhyme. Oh, God. It's a tragedy in tinsel, I say, unable to lie. He asked for a better idea with a twinkle in his eye. Did I know he owned the place? No, he put me on the spot. Now I'm working for that man, trying to ignore that he's hot. But as a down-on-her-luck girl with a difficult past, I know an opportunity when I see one, and I have to make it last.
I think she's going to throw up reading this. Why did
God.
you pick up this book?
I'll put my heart and soul into dressing his holiday windows. I'll work without stopping, and when we lose the battle with temptation, I'll try and remember I'm just window shopping.
Look, as cheesy as that was, you should have given this a 4-star review for being exactly what was advertised, because that was in rhyme and everything.
For the record, I did not read the synopsis before I started this.
I'm so bad about that too.
Me too.
And then this feels right.
I'm like 5 chapters in, and I'm like, wait, this isn't a smut book. Why is somebody dying?
Oh, this one
was. Just walking through, picking books on vibes.
Yeah.
Right. So I read this. It was a little bit after the Christmas season. It was December 29th through January 1st. Terrible start to the year. Terrible start to the year. Now, I won't deny that the smut
was smutting.
Ooh, that was 5-star smut.
Oh, really?
That was 5-star. The smut was smutty.
Yeah.
This is my exact review. The smut was 5-star, and the story was 1-star. So the math tells me this is an overall 3-star. The whiplash I experienced from going from sweating emoji to puking emoji needs to be studied, because it was bad. It was I got a crink in my neck from that whiplash. Like, it was awful. It was so bad. It was so cringy. But then those specific parts were like, that's it. That locked, saved, you know? And I probably got rid of something important to be able to save that, you know?
Bye-bye, Pythagorean theorem.
What is 2 + 2?
Ooh, that's what went. That's what went.
Fish.
So, yeah, you got to know what you're getting into with that book. It's not that I wouldn't recommend it unless you are looking for 5-star smut and you're okay with pretty cheesy. Pretty cheesy.
Would you consider this like a beach read? Like brainless reading, basically?
The only problem is it's wintertime, so it doesn't fit.
True. That's true.
The New York winter at that, so extra wintry.
Oh, I love that though.
Yeah. I mean, the vibes.
Listen, if you're going
setting.
for smut, don't expect a philosophical book.
I know.
You
I know. I've just gotten spoiled, I guess.
Yeah.
They can't all be fantasy.
I might. Right. That is true. I might just be terribly wrung out after entire Christmas season.
I was about to say, the Christmas season hits you hard with the cheesy Hallmark movies. So
yeah. So maybe if I'd read this first, I would have liked it more. But it just felt so. Just don't read that many back to back, please. There were some grammatical things that pissed me off about this book.
Whenever you're pushing out, Tessa Bailey is one that just pushes out book after book after book.
Yeah. You're bound to get some grammatical errors.
Yeah. Your editor had 5 minutes to review this.
Right.
So.
Before you tossed another 3 books on her lap.
So the biggest one was he said something like, I never want to be separated like that again. And she said, me either. Instead of me neither. Like, it is so easy. If it is a he does not want to be separated, it is a me neither. It is a simple rule. But it just infuriated me. I get that it's minor. But that's also the thing that makes it so frustrating is because it's so minor.
I'd have never have even thought about it.
Oh, man. It hit me like a truck seeing that. I was like, I'm immediately out of the story. What little bit I was in the story, I'm out.
There was one book I read where they were trying to say, and then he did this. Or maybe it was, that's what it was. It was like, I would rather be here than there. And they used THEN.
Oh, no, that hurts.
It is
stuck
so
with me.
It's so simple. Little grammatical things like that. It's like there's no reason that should be missed. There were some funny lines that I like though. One was she thinks online shopping is tacky. She also thinks shopping in real life is tacky. I have no idea how she gets her shopping done. I think I'm going to join the gym. I'm just so motivated right now. That was after Aiden stands up to everyone for Stella. And that was hot. But yeah, the everybody saw it, and the guy at the reception was like, I'm going to join the gym now. Is it okay if I write fan fiction about you? That was amazing. It was seriously hot though. Like, yes, come to my defense. Right? Yes, stick up to your family for me. Yes, I love it. But
I love that.
Yeah. That's our emotional smut. Is just stand up for me when I don't ask you to.
Overall, I'm very glad this was a quick free read. And
that's the good thing about Kindle Unlimited is you don't feel bad whenever you got like a 2 or 3 stars.
Yes.
You're not like, what? I spent $13 on this book?
I don't even want to think about that.
Rob.
Do you know how many years I went spending $13 on books?
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes Kindle books for that much.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I never paid for a Kindle. That's a lie. Because I would read it on my books app on my phone.
Yep.
This is a tight sode. We gotta get going.
We're going. I gave it 3 out of 5 because the smut carried the book. It's a 3.48 overall. Kindle Unlimited, $9.55 for a paperback is the next cheapest.
Yeah.
Next, I'm so excited. You need to read this one.
Okay, so this is written by Bethany Lenz. Bethany Joy Lenz.
Bethany Joy Lenz.
Joy Lenz.
Yes.
She plays Haley James Scott on One Tree Hill.
Yes.
I'm a One Tree Hill girly.
Yes, you are. And let me
this?
tell you, it's called Dinner for Vampires.
Okay.
It's a memoir.
Yes, it is a memoir.
Oh.
Let me pull it up.
Oh.
Live on a
Okay.
cult TV show while also in an actual cult.
That's crazy.
Yes. Let
You
me
know
read
this.
I'm intrigued immediately.
Yes. Sounds like
Gotta
it.
watch One Tree Hill so you can truly understand our world.
Well, the thing is, our world.
Yes.
The thing is, I tried One Tree Hill back in the day, and because it's Amanda's favorite, and so I gave it a shot. I got through the first season. It was just a little bit too melodramatic for me. It was a little bit too much, so I set it down. But this makes me almost want to try it again,
Yes.
just with the thought of what's going on in the background too.
How could you get through the season finale of season 1 and not want to dedicate your entire life to this TV show?
It felt
gotta
just
watch it.
too. It was too melodramatic. It was like, you're in high school, bro. Like, maybe if I had watched it in high school, maybe it would have hit home more.
But those kids were basically adults because
yeah.
where were their parents?
I mean, yeah.
Where were their
Every
parents?
TV show I've ever
Right.
watched ever.
Right. Let me read the synopsis here. A deliciously witty and inspiring memoir by One Tree Hill star Bethany Joy Lenz about her decade in a cult and her quest to break free. In the early 2000s, after years of hard work and dedication to break through as an actor, Bethany Joy Lenz was finally cast as one of the leads in the hit drama One Tree Hill. Her career was about to take off, but her personal life was slowly beginning to unravel. What none of the show's millions of fans knew, hidden even from her co-stars, was her secret double life in a cult. As only child who often had to fend for herself and always wanted a place to belong, Lenz found the safe haven she'd been searching for in a Bible study group with other Hollywood creatives. However, the group soon morphed into something more sinister, a slowly woven web of manipulation, abuse, and fear under the guise of a church covenant called the Big House Family. Piece by piece, Lenz began to give away her autonomy, ultimately relocating to the family's Pacific Northwest compound, overseen by a domineering minister who would convince Lenz to marry one of his sons and seemingly steadily drained millions of her TV income without her knowledge. Family minders assigned to her on set, inspired meetings in the basement of a filthy house, and regular counseling with leadership were just part of the tactics used to keep her loyal. Only when she became a mother did Lenz find the courage to leave and spare her child from a similar fate. After nearly a decade, and with the unlikely help of a One Tree Hill fan, she finally managed to escape the family's grip and begin to heal with the deep trauma that forever altered her relationship with God and her understanding of faith. Written with powerful honesty and dark humor, Dinner for Vampires is an inspiring story about the importance of identity and understanding what you believe. It was amazing, guys.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was terrifying. If it wasn't made abundantly clear, obviously, that it was a cult that she was getting sucked into, I see where she would have. I see where she would have fallen for it. It was so subtle. There were times, like whenever it first started, I was like, I mean, he's got a point with what he's saying.
Yeah.
I knew where it was leading, but it was still like, okay, I see where she would have fallen into that.
Because that's what most of them do, is just half truths. Like,
Yes.
you can't fully say they're wrong.
Yeah.
But like, there's an edge to it that you're like, well,
Yes.
taking it that way, I don't know.
Yes, it was.
That's terrifying.
It was a roller coaster from start to finish. I read it January 2nd through January 3rd. It was on Audible. And I read it because Amanda, of course, had read it. And she was like, you've got to read this. This is crazy. I put it off for the longest time because I'm not a One Tree Hill girly.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Is
It
this your
doesn't
memoir
matter.
year?
It might be. I don't know. I'm not going to say that it is.
Okay.
I am going to have to mix it up this year, though. I think I got burnt out last year. Almost got into a reading slump this month. So
I'm in line for it on Libby.
good.
So
How long do you have?
does she narrate it?
Yes, she does.
She does. Oh,
yes, and
love a movie.
she
Haley
sings
girl.
some portions. It's
yes.
really awesome.
Yeah, she's
it's
a very
really
good singer.
Yes,
she was a singer on the show.
Was she?
yeah. So
Adding
she
it now.
addresses at the end how everybody has an opinion on what she went through, because she's been open about it. Obviously, she wrote a dang book. She's been open about it on her experience and everything. And everybody's like, well, I never would have fallen for that. I never would have fallen. But it's like, you don't understand.
Yeah, you can say that till you're there.
Exactly. It's just another form of abuse, which we've talked about. Nobody understands until you're in that situation. You don't understand what you'll do. You don't know what you'll do.
Right. You like to think what you would do. But if nobody walked up to you and said, by the way, this is a cult.
Right.
You might not be so aware.
Right.
Telling us it's a cult, well, then you're like, yeah, no, I would never do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know it's a cult, though.
Yes.
They just thought it was a Bible study.
Exactly.
Which, in any other context, is completely safe and normal.
Yes. But until that guy came along,
we've all been
it was
in Bible
great.
studies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Your dad hosted some. I remember going to them.
I remember
those were totally chill.
Now this also had parts read by James Lafferty.
Yes.
So that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Nathan Scott.
Yes. He had he had some parts too. It was really good.
Yeah.
But like everybody saying, oh, I wouldn't have fallen for that. It really reminded me of all those times. We read stories in the Old Testament where it's like, oh, I never would have done that. How could the children of Israel have done that? How dare? And then I turn around and do very similar things just in a modern context. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I definitely would have fallen for that.
Oh, immediately. And this is that hook, line, sinker.
Exactly. I would have been,
The children of Israel were released from Egypt and had this miracle where they saw the waters parted, and then they questioned God.
How dare they?
I asked for a prayer like last week and it wasn't answered.
Right.
Are you even there?
Yes.
Like, really?
Are you listening?
You're almost worse than the children of Israel. This is faster, I think.
For sure. I gave this a 4 out of 5. It's got a 4.32 overall. And the cheapest option is hardcover for $14.49. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or a credit on Audible. Is it on Libby? You said
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm on
It's on Libby. So on Libby. Get Libby. All right. I'm done.
Okay.
The Push
by Ashley Audrain.
Oh, man.
I started this January 1st. I finished this January 3rd. It is a thriller, and I listened to it over audiobook. There is no spice. I'm getting this all from my page.
Nice.
She has a fancy book. Did we show the fancy book?
Hold that up for him.
Okay.
All right.
Hello. My name is Allie. This is my book. It has the name, the author, the pages, the date started, the date finished, and the genre, and it has chili peppers and stars, and you can write notes. And I think that's it.
What a wonderful show and tell you did. Fabulous.
It's an amazing little
Very
notebook.
detailed.
I really like that.
Oh, you can also put the format and who recommended it.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
So yeah, thank you, Kat, for getting this for me. Kat is my sister-in-law. Love her so much. So, thoughts on The Push. Wait, I'm going to read what it's about.
Yes. Read the synopsis for us.
Blythe Connor is determined that she will be the warm, comforting mother to her new baby Violet that she herself never had. But in the thick of motherhood's exhausting early days, Blythe becomes convinced that something is wrong with her daughter. She doesn't behave like most children do. Or is it all in Blythe's head? Her husband, Fox, says she's imagining things. The more Fox dismisses her fears, the more Blythe begins to question her own sanity, and the more we begin to question what Blythe is telling us about her life as well. Then their son Sam is born, and with him, Blythe has the blissful connection she'd always imagined with her child. Even Violet seems to love her little brother, but then life as they know it is changed in an instant. The devastating fallout forces Blythe to face the truth. The Push is a tour de force. You will read in a sitting, an utterly immersive novel that will challenge everything you think you know about motherhood, about what we owe our children, and what it feels like when women are not believed. I would not suggest reading this if you are a mom.
Really?
Oh, the synopsis made me hurt. So I don't know if I could.
That is something. So I wrote in here, it had devastating moments. like devastating. There was a point in this book where I was listening to it at my kitchen table, and I think I just was like it made me sick to my stomach. But it's rated a 4.7 star. I rated it a 3. Yeah, I rated it a 3. I don't think like what I had heard about it was completely honest from what I got from it. It just kind of felt like so there's no plot twist. None. And normally in like mystery thriller, there's a plot twist. That's fine. That's fine. You know, whatever. At the end, you're just like, yeah. You told us what happened in chapter 3.
That's me with the couple next door. Where I was like,
Yeah.
This is pretty clear, I thought.
So I don't know if I'm an idiot. I don't know. But like this whole book was just kind of like a wow.
Well, also you're the person who gets the thing way before anybody else gets the thing.
No, this was literally
just word for
in
word.
the book.
Was it okay? So was it more like almost essay format? Like, did it feel like somebody had just like written an essay?
Yes.
Type
So
thing?
what this is she is writing to her husband and daughter.
Okay. So it is basically okay.
It's not my favorite. I did give it a 3 star. It was a book. I read it. It had pages. It had a plot line, I guess. But I don't get the hype.
I gotcha.
Because literally they tell you exactly what happens, and then at the end it's like, and then she said what happened, and I'm like
like she did in the beginning.
Like this got to the point where I was like, okay, so if she's saying this, maybe she's going crazy, maybe that's the plot twist. I was trying to guess everything, and it was like, no,
that's just
that's just what happened.
Like
it's very underwhelming.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was just kind of like, it was a good read. Again, I would not read it if you're a mom. I don't know how I didn't spiral. If you're interested, I wouldn't tell you no, but I'm not going to recommend it out of the blue. This is a good point that I want to talk about. What was the point? So it goes back in time to the main character's grandmother being raised and her mother being raised, or I'm sorry, just her mother being raised by her grandmother, and then her being raised by her mother, and like what they had to go through. That didn't have anything to do with the book at all. Like, why?
Yeah.
I know that this is a book talking about motherhood. I get it, but I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I could be an idiot.
No.
And that's fine. Because here lately, there's been a lot of books where I'm like, am I just not understanding? Am I just like, is it not clicking? Is it not clicking up here? Is that what it is? But yeah, 3 stars, no spice. Next.
Just like that.
Hannah.
Oh, the no-show
I'm so excited.
by Beth O'Leary.
Okay.
This was what, number 4?
I think so.
Number 4 on Allie's top 5 of the year.
Oh.
Also, her name is Chiffon.
Chiffon?
Yes.
What'd you call her?
How's it
Shiobon.
spelled? Chiffon.
It's Shioban.
Chiffon?
And it's chiffon. Yeah. I was listening to it, and that's how they said it.
I listened to it too. I don't know.
That's how they said it.
Her listening comprehension
must be Swedish.
Must be Swedish.
So Allie read this synopsis in the top 5 episode, so I'm not going to reread it. Go back and listen to the episode, get Allie's thoughts, and then come back and get my thoughts. I read this from January 3rd to January 7th. I messaged you
Yes.
about 50% of the way through.
Yes.
Because it got to a point And I was like, because we know that he's stood up these girls, right? All three of them, he has stood them up. And I was like, why am I still rooting for this guy?
Yes.
Because I was like, he's a cheater. Why would I root for him? He's got 3 women. Why would I root for him? And I could not figure it out why I was still like, but he's a good guy. And I started to really question things about myself.
Right.
And
I did too.
I was like, what am I doing?
Start looking at your husband's side eye and like, are you a good guy or am I just blind?
Yeah. Do I have some blinders on that I can't seem to get off? Because this is, I know what's happening and I'm okay with him. I was so mad at myself. But then I got to about 75% of the way through and I was like, okay, I'm going to message Allie and give her what my thoughts are on this. And we're going to see if that's how it pans out. And that is how it panned out. And I cried like a baby. I cried so hard. Even though I had guessed.
Yeah.
I literally messaged you and was like, this is going to happen, isn't it? This is going to happen. And it did. It did.
Did it feel good to have guessed it though?
No.
No.
It just,
I thought you'd feel a little bit better because, you know, like Allie, when she guesses it, you get so mad at her because you didn't get it.
not when it's this. This is different. So I love this book and I see why it was on your top 5. What I don't understand is how you put 3 stars even on your first go through. Obviously you rethought it during the top 5. What doesn't click for me is that you even had to think about it, because that was a 5-star.
This book was amazing. No notes, 3 stars. What?
Yes.
That's basically what she did.
Yes. You realize that your 3 stars, you have said from the get-go that it was a book. You read it. It had a plot line. You have said that from the beginning. You gave this 3 stars. And I
didn't think that I would recommend it. And then like later on, I'm like, oh no, I would totally recommend
Dude, I'm so glad that you did. Because that was a wonderful addition to this month. I loved it. I am very upset with you.
Short line for Libby too.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm very upset with you for putting the measure above this one. I'm very upset with you.
I didn't put the measure above it.
Rating wise, you did.
Oh my god.
Rating wise, you did. So
stars don't lie.
Yeah. I fixed it, and then I
promise?
put this on not on Goodreads.
I
don't want to
fix it on Goodreads.
It's so slow in my mind.
Anyway,
it's on the internet for everybody to see. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
We want it to be on Goodreads for the author to see.
Yes.
Sorry, Bethany.
You have to write a review that says I had to change this from a 3-star to a 4-star because I was wrong.
Yes.
That's what we want to see.
Yes.
Okay.
I will be looking for it.
Screenshot it.
So I gave it a 5 out of 5. Because of you, it only has a 3.79 overall. And that's too low.
Because of you. Only person who rated it that low.
That is too.
Yeah, why is nobody talking about this book?
I don't know. It's amazing. You have to read it. It's so good. It is so good. So it's not on Kindle Unlimited or anything. The cheapest option is $9.99 on Kindle, but it is on Libby. And like Allie said, it's a relatively short line right now if you're in our area. So read it. It's so good. Be mad at Allie with me.
Oh my god. What did I do to deserve this?
You rated it 3 stars
because of you. And then she completely turned around and did not. She was not talking to me.
Talk to you anymore. Get out.
Because of you.
Leave.
I'm fixing it now.
Yes.
Good.
I guilt tripped her.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts about this next one.
What is it?
Hannah's being weird. Anyways, I'm glad my mom died by Jennette McCurdy.
Doesn't it feel weird to say it out loud?
It does, because I don't want my mom to die. I love my
Yeah, not mine
My
either.
mom is sweet.
Yeah,
This
no.
lady, however,
I'm
also kind of glad
Crazy.
she died.
Was she?
Crazy.
So this is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. The synopsis is a heartbreaking and hilarious memoir by iCarly and Sam and Cat star Jennette McCurdy about her struggles as a former child actor, including eating disorders, addiction, and a complicated relationship with her overbearing mother, and how she retook control of her life. Jennette McCurdy was 6 years old when she had her first acting audition. Her mother's dream was for her only daughter to become a star, and Jennette would do anything to make her mother happy. So she went along with what Mom called calorie restriction, eating little and weighing herself 5 times a day. She endured extensive at-home makeovers while her mom shouted, "Your eyelashes are invisible, okay? You think Dakota Fanning doesn't tint hers?" She was even showered by Mom until age 16 while sharing her diaries, email, and all her income. I'm Glad My Mom Died, Jennette recounts all this in unflinching detail, just as she chronicles what happens when the dream finally comes true. Cast in a new Nickelodeon series called iCarly, she is thrust into fame. Though Mom is ecstatic, emailing fan club moderates and getting on a first-name basis with paparazzi. Hi, Gail. Jennette is riddled with anxiety, shame, and self-loathing, which manifest into eating disorders, addiction, and a series of very unhealthy relationships. These issues only get worse when, soon after taking the lead in the iCarly spinoff Sam and Cat, alongside Ariana Grande, her mother dies of cancer. Finally, after discovering therapy and quitting acting, Jennette embarks on recovery and decides for the first time in her life what she really wants. Told with refreshing candor and dark humor, I'm Glad My Mom Died is an inspiring story of resilience, independence, and the joy of shampooing your own hair. Oh my God. I suggest everyone read this book, actually.
Did you listen to it?
I listened to it on Audible. Yes.
Okay, so Jennette
and
was...
she reads it.
Yes.
Yes.
So did you notice the part whenever near the end she's reading something and she has to go...
Chapter 72, when Jennette's voice breaks, OMG, I ache for her and want to protect that sweet, loving child that only wanted to help her mommy.
Aww. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I felt so bad for her. I read this from January 9th to January 10th. It took me literally 2 days.
Yeah.
I started it like halfway through the
Fantastic.
first day, finished it the next. I couldn't stop listening to it.
Especially growing up with Jennette.
Yes,
Right,
watching
right,
her.
yeah.
iCarly was my favorite
Yes.
show.
So I remember these episodes that she's talking about. I remember all this, and
the
I'm
butter
like,
sock and
yes,
the bikini outfits because she wanted to wear a one piece because of the eating disorders.
Yeah.
All of this, I just started getting flashbacks of the show, and I was like, "Oh my God!" All of this was happening in the background.
Right.
It was heartbreaking. I gave it 5 stars. It's
Nice.
a 4.45 overall, and that's just too low. Go back and review it again.
Speaking of which,
Heck yeah.
Thank
I changed
you.
my star rating because I was wrong. I'm sorry, Beth O'Leary. This is in my top 5 reads of 2024. Heck yeah.
Good. We needed that public apology.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
it is now
Yes.
changed on Goodreads.
So 5 out of 5.
Yes.
I do have one thing that, I
was
would
the
like to
first
say.
book of the year too, so
That's
I
amazing.
nailed it.
Yes.
A 5 star starting off.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I have one thing I want to say
Okay.
for everybody out there. Don't even weigh yourself every day. Make it a once a week on the scale thing if you must.
Like maximum.
Max.
Or be like me and just
Ignore
assume
it.
that, just don't step on the
Or
scale.
just
I
when
walk
you go
into
to
the
the
bathroom and I
doctor.
look at that and I'm like, oh, would you look at that? I have
The
one of
scale
those.
does not define you.
No. And your
Fuel
body
your
is
body.
your body is going to fluctuate.
Yes,
all the
daily.
time.
Listen,
Hourly.
You could not poop for 24 hours and
we're
that's
all
going
moms
to
here.
adjust your numbers.
It's heartbreaking to read,
Right.
and
Uh-huh.
just to think somebody's mother encouraged all of these things.
Right.
She didn't even like acting.
No. No.
So sad.
I just want to give her a hug.
Yeah.
She just wanted to make her mommy happy. And it was like, didn't it start at like 4, 5, 6?
6 is when she starts acting. 4, I think, is when the story starts.
Okay.
And it's just some background about Christmas and the family relationships. Their family was hoarders.
Yeah.
Oh.
And don't get me wrong, we're all messy, cluttered, and got too much stuff. This is like kids were having to sleep in the living room because their rooms were too full at this point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Everything that she went through is like, wow, just one thing right after another. And then she'd have to go sit in these rooms with other kids who had tons of things because they've got all this acting money. And she's the only one really fully supporting her family. So she has like no money.
That is not the pressure a kid should have.
No. But yeah. Everybody should read it. It's so sweet, especially if you grew up with iCarly or Sammy Cat.
Right.
Also touches on the Dan Schneider drama.
Oh, I also want to point out, I did look at the end. She gives a shout out to someone named Ari. That is not referring to Ariana Grande.
No.
That is her boyfriend, Ari.
Yeah.
Just want to clarify because I did have to Google that because I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think you're on bad terms. I don't think you're like besties or anything. You're just like former coworkers at this point. But like, yeah, I Googled that. I was like, did y'all get close? And I didn't realize it.
Nope. Boyfriend.
No, ma'am. Okay.
All right.
The Great Alone by Kristen Hannah.
That was on your TBR. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, not her. Yes. She's the hurting one.
This isn't as bad.
This isn't as bad. Dabs your heart.
Right.
She just nicks it a little bit, not a full-fledged dab.
This it does jab your heart. I mean, but it's just not like rip it out and stomp on it like Nightingale. It's hard for me to compare rip your heart out and stomp on it or like jab you in the heart whenever you've got Nightingale.
Yeah. Gotcha.
From the history. So this is by Kristen Hannah. It is not a thing of, it's not in a series. I did give it half a chili pepper because there is a scene in there. I don't think it'll get your gears going, but I don't know. Okay. Didn't get my gears going.
Gotcha.
It was for the plot, but it did talk about in the moment.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
It is historical fiction. So this is right after Vietnam.
You gonna read the synopsis?
No.
Just kidding. Man, no, you're mad at me. We're just snapping at each other.
How dare you threaten to hit my friend?
Oh, now you stand up for me.
An hour later.
I had to come up with a comeback.
It's the Internet Explorer little loading symbol above her.
Right.
This is also a 4.7 star.
Whoa.
Hey.
Yeah. So I gave it a 4 star. It says Kristen Hannah's The Great Alone, a desperate family seeks a new beginning in the near-isolated wilderness of Alaska, only to find that their unpredictable environment is less threatening than the erratic behavior found in human nature. Alaska, 1974. Ernst Albright came home from the Vietnam War a changed and volatile man. When he loses yet another job, he makes the impulsive decision to move his wife and daughter north, where they will live off the grid in America's last true frontier. Cora will do anything for the man she loves, even if it means following him into the unknown. 13-year-old Lenny, caught up in the riptide of her parents' passionate, stormy relationship, has little choice but to go along, daring to hope this new land promises her family a better future. In a wild, remote corner of Alaska, the Albrights find a fiercely independent community of strong men and even stronger women. The long sunlit days and the generosity of the locals make up for the newcomers' lack of preparation and dwindling resources. But as winter approaches and darkness decedes, Ernst's fragile mental state deteriorates. Soon the perils outside pale in comparison to threats from within. In their small cabin, covered in snow, blanketed in 18 hours of night, Lenny and her mother learn the terrible truth. They are on their own. Boy, howdy. So, I put, this book is not nearly as devastating as Kristen Hannah's other books, but still has the general feeling of sadness / women living in a world where they have no rights. The first half of this book, the mom would send me into a rage.
Really?
And then the second half of this book, I was like, they have the best relationship. They are the best of friends.
So the switch is like...
But I mean, okay, so obviously you can tell from the description, it's an abusive dad.
Right.
He has PTSD, moves up to Alaska, 24-hour constant sunlit days during the summer.
Yes.
So he's in a fantastic mood.
Right.
We all know we get the winter sadness, okay?
Yeah. And
so
it's
imagine
different.
doing it 24 hours of midnight dark.
Yeah.
So that is only going to make things worse.
Oh God, yeah.
So, he's obviously abusive whenever the winter hits. The people in town know this, and they try to help the mom out. So they get him a job during the winter, and it lasts for like 4 or 5 years, where just during the winter he is gone somewhere else to where he can't hit.
abuse them.
Yeah, I'm not there to hurt you.
Right. You're going to be with a bunch of other grown men. What are you going to do to them, chicken?
Crazy how that works.
Yeah. So, you know, like the town really came together to help this family. And it's a wonderful story. But what I'm saying all that to say, the mom kept making excuses for him. And I get that. You know, it's always the thing where, oh, you know, but I love him. I love him more than I hate him. Like something along those lines.
Right.
He hurts me, yes, but the love that I have for him outweighs all that. We've heard it, okay? We know.
Right.
But when you have a daughter who's witnessing it and you are telling yourself, I guess that's what it is. Like you're telling yourself that it's not going to affect her.
Right. Yeah, but you're lying to yourself. Yeah. It's a lie.
But all that to say, the mother-daughter relationship in this book is unmatched.
Really?
Oh my God. Unmatched. It's fantastic. A beautiful story about like mother-daughter relationships. Mm-hmm. I apologize, actually, for I've said in the past that I hate men, you know.
Right.
So I want to correct what I said. Okay. I don't hate men. I just hate stupid people. And it is really unfortunate that 99.9% of the stupid people are men. But, you know, you live and you learn. So sorry. Anywho, I love the love interest, childhood friends, protective, had a traumatic childhood, sign me up. And
that checks so many boxes.
Yeah. And this gives me Uneducated by Tara Westover vibes, which if you remember was my number one.
Yeah,
so
I started that today.
Okay.
Yes. The Great Alone gives me those vibes.
Okay.
Except this one's fiction and Uneducated is not.
Right.
And so that was it messed me up because I was like, wait, did this really happen?
Right.
Yeah. So
awesome. All right, so my next one I finished on January 13th. I read my beautiful copy of Little Women.
And then panicked.
And had a very
meltdown.
Whew, I was very scared. I immediately. So what happened was, the first time that I read this book, it was both parts together in one big book. This one was definitely lighter, but I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just where the words are smaller, because I did mention that the words are very small.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it's just where the words are small and it'll be okay. No, it was just the part one. And I was like, and I found the part two on Amazon.
Good.
Hence, I got to keep the theme.
Yeah.
You know, got to keep the theme.
I like the pink.
Me too.
My biggest concern when you said you finished that one and it didn't have the other part was you weren't going to be able to find the same aesthetic one, because you found it in a bookstore on vacation one day. And I was like, oh God, please have that online somewhere.
I had to do a little bit of research, but I found it. So thank goodness. So here is the synopsis for Little Women. Generations of readers, young and old, male and female, have fallen in love with the March sisters of Louisa May Alcott's most popular and enduring novel, Little Women. Here are talented tomboy and author-to-be Joe, tragically frail Beth, beautiful Meg, and romantic spoiled Amy. united in their devotion to each other and their struggles to survive in New England during the Civil War. It is no secret that Alcott based Little Women on her own early life. While her father, the free-thinking reformer and abolitionist Bronson Alcott, hobnobbed with such eminent male authors as Emerson, Thoreau, and Hawthorne, Louisa supported herself and her sisters with woman's work, including sewing, doing laundry, and acting as a domestic servant. But she soon discovered she could make more money writing. Little Women brought her lasting fame and fortune, and far from being the girls' book her publisher requested, it explores such timeless themes as love and death, war and peace, the conflict between personal ambition and family responsibilities, and the clash of cultures between Europe and America. I know the synopsis really does not do it justice. It is amazing. It is like, I remember it being one of the only classic books that like resonated with me whenever I was coming through school. And it's just like so much more so now. It's been at least 10 years since my last read through. And I forgot. I had the memory of it being good, but I forgot how good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have really gotten into, I love the idea of being a homemaker.
Oh my God, me too.
I love it.
I don't want to do the work to do it, but I love it.
But like, if that was my sole purpose, I would do it with my whole, like, I feel like I would be in my element. Like
That's
right
true.
now,
I
That's
just
true.
bought a bread pan so I can start making my own loaves of bread.
I mean, right now it's like I have to work and then come home and there's chores to do, and I'm like, I don't want to do those chores because I've already worked
Not
for the
after
day.
work.
But
I've already done my
Shame
8 hours.
mom.
I'm clocking out.
Exactly. So, but like, if that was my sole duty, I feel like I would do it so happily. I would dress up in my pretty dresses. I would wear the cute aprons. I would do my
think
hair.
that
I
would
would
really
do it
would,
on
though.
maternity
I
leave?
would. But that's different. You got a little baby to look after.
She never mentioned there were kids involved. I'm just pointing that out. She never said she's having kids.
I never said children were involved. I'm just saying I make me and my husband's space livable, homely, and you know, very comfortable and clean. And I would do that with my whole heart. And that's what these girls are doing. And it's just like, it's so. What book was it that I said gives me like that homely, or like not the comforting feeling, almost nostalgic? Maybe it was Pumpkin Spice Cafe, where it's like
You're
almost nostalgic,
for
but
that you've never seen.
Exactly. That's exactly what this book does for me. And they have this neighbor named Lori, and he like there's this one particular scene where he stumbles upon them outside. They're having a picnic. They're each working on something, and it's his point of view looking at them, and just the way he describes them and the femininity that is just radiating off of every single one of them. I'm like, oh my God, like women, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, people forget, and I'm not saying that women can't do the things that men can do. Obviously we can. We've proved it for years. It's fine. But a woman being a woman, like being in the womanly role so prominently like them, oh my gosh.
It's just your dream.
I love it. I'm like, there is so much strength in that. They had so much strength, and it was just beautiful and just made me so happy. And I was like, it's so simple. They weren't rich. They were actually extremely poor.
Yeah.
And they just made it work. They still donated time and food and effort to other families that needed it more than them. They literally took their Christmas dinner over to a family that was like struggling.
Like the first chapter, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. I love it.
I'm realizing I watched the movie and apparently don't remember a ton about it.
Oh, it's amazing. I remember
liking it, but
and they did a really good job with the movie, I feel like. You're talking about the most recent one, right?
Yes,
with
the
Emma
recent
Watson?
one.
The one with
Yes.
Florence Pugh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this book, I did put this down. This book was first published September 30th, 1868. Yes.
So that's the oldest book you've probably read?
Probably, yes. Besides the Bible. But yes. And like I said, I don't usually like classics. They don't usually hit me. They kind of boring, a lot of them. But this one, oh my gosh. And I've noticed even myself, which I've talked before about how I'm kind of I'm kind of glue with the things that I consume, and I kind of like morph a little bit as I'm sucked into. But oh my God, if I could just morph into this constantly, like, I'd be so happy.
You had that whole phase where you wanted to be like a 50s housewife anyways.
I still want to.
Right?
I still want to, just without the beatings, you know?
Well, if I'm going to do it, I want the cocaine.
Without the racism.
Yeah, I'd love to live in the 50s without the racism.
No racism, no beatings, and I want my cocaine. I need that.
The coke.
It would
just
be
in
legal.
general, they just were doing just like lines. This was your wake up medicine, you know.
No, that's
How
true.
else do you think they were able to get those houses spotlessly cleaned and have giant dinners ready?
Right.
They were high.
As a kite.
Yes.
So yeah, I am still on that train, and this is just a little bit further back in time, and I'd be fine with that as well. So I can't remember if I cried the first time that I read it, but I cried so many different portions of this one. It was beautiful. This entire book is one long love letter to womanhood. Okay. It's beautiful. And that's the best way I can describe it. It's a love letter to womanhood. It also does a wonderful job of including like life lessons and stuff. The mom, she tells them, but then she lets them experience it for themselves. Like, she was trying to explain to the girls that you don't need all of these worldly things to be satisfied. And so, like, you need a little bit of work, a little bit of play, not too much of either one.
Yeah.
So that you don't get burnt out. And they were like, no, we think we would be content with playing all the time. And she said, go ahead and try it for a week. And oh my gosh, they got so like they got to where they were sniping at each other. They were just on edge constantly, and they were finally like, yeah, we need to mix some work in. Like, I actually feel like we're doing stuff.
Yeah, I got to do something else, feel accomplished.
Yes, it wasn't fulfilling enough for them. They ran out of things that they wanted to do, and so they started attacking each other. And if that isn't what girls do, I mean, so
ain't that the truth?
Yes. Yeah, we got sisters. We know how it is.
I don't know what it is about sisters.
Oh man, talk about button heads.
Yeah.
We didn't stop butting heads until I moved out. And also, this book is not labeled as a Christian fiction book, but it did have Christian elements in it. Like, they each are encouraged to read the Bible every night before going to bed. Amy goes and prays for Beth whenever she's sick. Like, and everybody's got their own path to God through it, but it's still just as a regular fiction, and I appreciate that. And also, it's a different time, 1868. I mean, yeah, things were a little bit that's what you did. You had God, you know, you kind of had to pray for him to provide. It was one of those times. And like, it's a reminder that we're so spoiled now.
That's true.
I go down the road 2 minutes and I can get any groceries that I want any time of day.
I know. I was just thinking, I was peeling potatoes the other day, and I was like, man, this would have taken months to prepare to make French fries.
Yeah. And
I just like drive to the store and get them.
I get a free cut or a pre-cut bag of French fries.
I go home after work and I have like food that I'm able to cook, but I'm like, I'm not feeling that tonight. Let's go to the grocery store and pick something else.
Yep.
Yeah, and they would have been like,
no,
we killed a pig 6 months ago. You're eating the pig.
Exactly.
That's what you're eating.
Exactly.
So we've ran out of meat. You're going to have to do organ meat now. Like, that's what they had to go through. That's insane.
So, I really appreciate that they had those values and stuff without being labeled as a Christian book, because it's just so good. I do wonder like exactly how much of this is pulled from real life, because she breaks the fourth wall every now and then.
Okay.
And she'll say, I know that they were likely thinking this, and they'll say this was. She said at one point this was pulled from an actual diary entry of some sisters that were together, and it was so cute, and I was like, I wonder, like I know some of it was pulled from, but like I wonder how many Easter eggs there are just in general of her life. It was great. 5 out of 5. It's got 4.16 overall. It is on Libby, or it's 1009 for a hardcover version. Not my version, but a version is 1009. So, yeah. I don't know how the audiobook is. I don't know, like, the narrator and stuff. I've never tried it. But it is on Libby if you want to give it a shot. So,
cool.
Yes. All right.
You're next.
So this is my big one. Amanda, I love you, but...
How do
this
you
was not
How do you
it.
not like Assistant to the Villain?
And like this. Have you tried the show?
No.
Okay. Have you tried the show?
You made me not want to give it a shot either.
Don't.
Now, is this the one where she's with like an older guy who was like dating her mom or something like that? Like,
It's not quite. Her mom definitely wanted him.
okay.
But he wanted her. So
That's so weird.
Isn't
he like her mom's age?
around it?
Oh.
Well,
I also read a book that had that in None of This Is True.
Oh. What?
Anyways.
We'll get into it. So this is Rivals by Jilly Cooper. This is technically number 2 in the series, but you don't have to read the first one to understand this one. I'll start with the synopsis. Oh my God, I just noticed it's a 4.11 overall, and that makes me so angry. We'll get into it. Jilly Cooper's outrageous new novel is a riotous story of life behind the television screen. It marks the return of Rupert Campbell Black, the unscrupulous hero of writers, which is the first one, and explores the machinations and pleasures of the very rich, from the agonies of obsession to the passions and betrayal of men and women used to getting what they want. I gave it a 2 out of 5, but it's somehow a 4.11 overall. And that makes me angry. Oh! The only reason that this wasn't a 1 star was because of the plot with the TV. Funny. Usually books get an extra star for the amount of smut that they have, or the quality of the smut that they have. Literally, window shopping would have been a 1 without the 5-star smut.
This one you took
This
one away.
was backwards.
Lost a star.
It is on Kindle Unlimited. I am pretty sure I got the audiobook for free on Audible with a standard membership. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I did.
So what did
Don't waste your money.
Did Amanda try to stand up for this book at all?
So what she did, she watched the TV show first and then read the book.
Okay.
I'm so glad I didn't do that. Because one, I was picturing George Clooney as Rupert.
Okay.
And that worked out a lot better than the TV show Rupert. And I was able to make my own characters, and they actually looked decent. Mm-hmm. And that was not the case. And so, yeah. Yeah. So she was like, you should have watched the TV show first. I don't think it would have swayed my anger toward it, though.
Then you'd have been like, well, why is this even in here?
Right. I'm like, all is build up for what?
Yeah. Because then before you were like, oh, thank God they took this out.
Yes. Whew. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was bad. But thank God I never have to touch it again.
Yes.
Yay. And that's
Allie.
it for me. Allie, is it your turn?
Yes.
All the dangerous things.
I have nothing to say about this book.
Oh my gosh.
I did not write anything down.
Because it wasn't good, or?
I don't remember anything about it.
Really?
I do. That's a lie. I remember things about it. None of it is important. I don't really have anything to say. This is written by Stacy Willingham, who wrote A Flicker in the Dark.
Okay.
Let me read the description.
Yes.
It is 336 pages.
That's not too terribly long.
Okay. Following up her instant New York Times bestseller, A Flicker in the Dark, Stacy Willingham delivers a totally gripping thriller about a desperate mother with a troubled past and all the dangerous things. Before I get into the actual description, I want to say, whenever I read Following Up Her Instant, I kind of thought that it was almost like a series. It's not. It has nothing to do. I thought that it was kind of going to be like a The Maidens and Silent Patient.
Where it's kind of
sort
parallel a little bit.
No. Not so. That was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah,
but
if you're expecting the one.
Yes, yeah. So it says, 1 year ago, Isabel Drake's life changed forever. Her toddler son, Mason, was taken out of his crib in the middle of the night while she and her husband were asleep in the next room. With little evidence and few leads for the police to chase, the case quickly went cold. However, Isabel cannot rest until Mason is returned to her, literally. Except for the occasional catnap or small blackout where she loses track of time, she hasn't slept in a year. Isabel's entire existence now revolves around finding him, but she knows she can't go on this way forever. In hopes of jarring loose a new witness or I'm Southern, I can't say buried. Buried? Okay.
You've said it so many times it's not real.
Clue. Dug up. Clue. She agrees to be interviewed by a true crime podcaster, but his interest in Isabel's past makes her nervous. His incessant questioning, paired with her severe insomnia, has brought up uncomfortable memories from her own childhood, making Isabel start to doubt her recollection of the night of Mason's disappearance, as well as second guess who she can trust, including herself. But she is determined to figure out the truth no matter where it leads. So she's a sleepwalker. So she falls into she's a deep sleeper. It's, she has those blackout periods or whatever.
Right.
I thought that it was like the DID. Mm-hmm. It's not. I'll go ahead and spoil that for you. It's not DID. The plot twist was okay, but also enraging. I was like, I don't even want to get into it without even getting into another rant about men. Anyways, men are bad. Next.
Well, your review on that, I think I'm going to remove that from my TBR, actually.
It's okay. If you have nothing else to read, maybe
it's a filler.
It's a filler book. I was really interested in it at first, but I finished this on the 15th, I think. I don't remember anything. I remember the end. I think that's it. Yeah. And it's sad. I always hate missed time. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She doesn't have her son for that whole year and a half, and it's he was 18 months old whenever he disappeared. And I'm like, that's
too close to home.
So much happens in that time frame.
Yes.
You have basically missed.
Yeah.
Anyways,
a lot.
Then I read The Chain.
I cannot wait to hear about this one.
It wasn't bad. It was okay. Yeah. I mean, so this was recommended by Casey's student.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes. I substitute taught for a class. A child recommended me this in a 6th grade classroom.
Yes. So. This was written by Adrian McKinty. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. It was a good book. If you've noticed, I'm pretty sure every book that I have talked about so far has been thriller.
So maybe you're burnt out on it?
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay.
But
do you
also...
have the
No.
How dare you keep her on track?
How dare I?
So, when a mother is targeted by a dangerous group of masterminds, she must commit a crime to save her kidnapped daughter or risk losing her forever. It's something parents do every morning. Rachel Klein drops her daughter at the bus stop and heads to her day, but a cell phone call from an unknown number changes everything. It's a woman on the line, informing her that she has Kylie bound and gagged in her back seat, and the only way Rachel will see her again is to follow her instructions exactly. Pay a ransom and find another child to abduct. This is no ordinary kidnapping. The caller is a mother herself, whose son has been taken, and if Rachel doesn't do as she's told, the boy will die. You are not the first, and you will certainly not be the last. Rachel is now part of the chain, an unending and ingenious scheme that turns victims into criminals and is making someone else very rich in the process. The rules are simple, the moral challenge is impossible. Find the money fast, find your victim, and then commit a horrible act you thought yourself incapable of just 24 hours ago. But what the masterminds behind the chain know is that parents will do anything for their children. It turns out that kidnapping is only the beginning. So,
wow.
I don't want to get into this too much, but I don't know another way to talk about it.
Okay.
So, this
twist?
is a very easy,
Big plot twist, or
it's see through. You can see through it.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
like it's not really a plot twist. Yes, it has a plot twist. No, the plot wasn't twisted.
Okay. Gotcha. It wasn't like a slap you in the face.
No, I mean, you meet the person and you're like, oh, that's her. Oh, that's crazy. Gotcha. What are they going to do about that?
Right.
And then you realize that you got like 30% left of the book and you're like, oh my God, come on now. You know?
Gotcha.
So, this was a very easy to read book.
Okay.
Each chapter is only like 3 to 5 minutes long.
Okay.
So it's one of those where you're laying in bed at night and you're like, oh, it's only 3 more minutes. I can read the next chapter.
Yeah.
Versus Iron Flame, which I'm on right now, it's like
45 minutes.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, well, I think I'm just gonna go to bed.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then the next chapter, you're like, oh, it's only 4 minutes. I can read the next one.
One more, and then it's been 45 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that I will say we need more books like that because I love that.
Shorter chapters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I feel accomplished.
oftentimes chapters are split up in 2 parts anyways.
Right.
Just go ahead and make it a new chapter.
Right.
Anywho, no spice. Thank God. Thank God there's no spice.
I mean, it was about kidnapping children.
Yes. Yes. We need to get to the point. Sometimes thriller books have like a scene where they're like, and then we did it. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You have so many other things you could be doing.
Yes.
People's lives
You
are
have
on
a
the
child.
line.
You
Yes.
have a child in your basement.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
But homegirl did get with her brother-in-law. Okay. I guess,
But not a child.
Not a child.
Okay, cool.
Thank
cool.
goodness.
So I don't think that this is spoiling anything. The daughter does get saved, and it's only halfway through the book, and you're like,
What else is there?
yeah, yeah, you know. I loved the first half. The whole like, okay, how do we do this? Who do we talk to? The whole like getting the prepaid phones and everything.
Yeah, like the burner phones.
Yeah, they have to buy like 30 burner phones because they can't use the same burner phone. Like it's very smart.
Yeah.
How these people started this chain because it's basically like to pay the ransom you have to download the Onion, which is a dark web browser, and you have to put your money into Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin gets wired, and it's basically completely washed by the time it gets to them.
The Onion is a dark app?
It's a browser.
Interesting. The Onion is also a satire news source.
Yes.
Because Caleb reads some of those and goes, these are hilarious. And sometimes I can't tell the difference if they're real or fake.
That's how
2025.
I feel a lot of things about that. Anyways, the first half was great. I was really interested. I could have lived without the second part. I understand this needed to happen.
Yeah.
But I could have lived without it.
Right.
I wish that while getting her daughter back, she would have torn down the chain.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yes, that doesn't happen.
You wanted her to multitask.
I can understand like it would be too cliche. So I get it, but also I wish it would have been nice. It would have been nice. I think I would have liked that more. I get why though, you know. One last thing. The daughter, halfway through the book, gets saved, brings her home. Her mom has went and got loans, put a mortgage, like a second mortgage on her home, all this other stuff. Had to kidnap a dang kid. Finding the place to keep these children. Like, this woman has been through it to get her daughter back. And her daughter, being a 13-year-old, is a complete B-word to her. Like, doesn't speak to her. She's like, you stole a kid? I would have been like, I stole a kid to get you back. Say thank you.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
I could have left you.
Yeah.
At this rate, I should have.
Yeah. Thinking about returning you, actually.
Yes.
Getting that kid back. He seemed a little nicer.
So, I rated it a 3-star. It was good. You know, I've just not been hitting it on the books here lately.
Now,
I gotcha.
From the perspective of a 11 to 12-year-old, would that have been a very scary story?
Yeah, because a 12-year-old gets stolen.
Yeah. Okay. This was recommended by a child.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
from their perspective.
I've been like, this could have been me.
I would have spiraled so hard at that time.
Right. Looking over my shoulder. They're going to get me.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
right.
now it's you.
Normal People by Sally Rooney.
This is
The third time talking about normal
I don't
people.
remember how highly you all rated it. Do you all
3.
remember?
3.
3. I did 2.
Okay.
I
didn't
respect it.
care for
How
it.
did you feel about the end?
I'll be honest right now. I don't remember it.
Really?
This was so...
It just ended.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The cycle was
maybe I
starting
did
again.
remember.
The cycle
He was moving
starting
to
again.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh, yes, you're right. It just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah.
I read it in a day because I thought you rated it a 5-star.
No.
And I was trying so hard to find the good part.
Oh, man.
I was like, why did I write this down? She had to have rated it very highly. Why did I do this? Where is the good part?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is just a book
Yeah.
for you. Perfect.
But it comes with a bunch of accolades.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah,
that had all of the awards and everything.
I got spoiled on a bunch of things just because, which I mean, I don't think there were really spoilers for this. Maybe that's the point. It's normal people and it's normal not realizing things. You don't learn the lesson all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I read a whole girl's rant. If you all need to go, if I can find it. Oh my God, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll just tell you what to get on Goodreads. Okay, there's a review written by somebody named Loose Cry Bebes Back from Hiatus. That's their full name on Goodreads.
Take a screenshot of that so that I can put that name right up here for you.
They wrote a review that they gave this a 2 stars. Well, they shred this book to pieces, and I was like, thank you. I don't feel alone. I feel seen. I feel heard about this story. I mean, I'm not going to read the description again because, twice already probably. But I read it over the course of like one day. I read it from the January 15th to the 16th on Libby Audio, so it was free.
Thank God. Right.
The characters were just so self-absorbed.
Yes.
It was pretentious.
Yes.
I was disgusted by them just existing.
Right.
And it gave the vibes of, oh, I'm so unique and I wrote, if I'm so unique and quirky was a book. That's the whole thing. I'm so different. I wear dark clothes and drink wine. What?
Hello, Amron.
What college
Except
kid
Amron
didn't try that at least once? Like,
Right.
But they never grow out of that vibe. Like, most people phase into it. I'm so unique and quirky. I wear the dark clothes. And then they realize, oh, well, maybe I wasn't that unique.
Sometimes it's okay to just like what you like, even if it's not quirky, even if it's the normal.
Yes.
It is okay to be normal. It's okay.
And might I add, at one point in time, they suggest that people who go out and have fun on weekends have no hobbies.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong. There were other bad things happening in that scene. I'm not justifying the person. But to come back and the teacher doesn't have any books in their house. They don't have any personality in their home. And I was like, are you trying to just say people who party don't have lives too? You can do a little bit of both.
Right. Right.
I don't know. That felt weird to me.
Did you notice the communism stuff?
Yeah.
You
when
did?
it started off with Karl Marx and communism, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Do y'all know what you're asking, right?
Why do I not remember that?
He's 100%
just like the first
communist.
2 chapters. That's how they like get together, is their love of Karl Marx books or his teachings and whatnot, which is communism.
Right.
And they talk about it, and then they stop talking about it after that. But that's like their connecting point at the very start,
And that's what's weird
and it's
about
just
it.
so weird at the beginning that you're like, okay. I mean, I get it. You're high schoolers. Every high schooler thinks communism would be a great idea because it's great on paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Small.
Yeah, so like to have a high
scale.
school thought, you know,
Right.
okay, this could work. Yeah, we could totally fix everything.
Yeah.
Like somebody didn't already think of that, you know,
Right.
because you think everything in high school you're unique.
Yeah, right.
They're unique.
They're unique.
They're quirky. I don't know.
Quirky.
That was so strange.
Yeah.
It wasn't a total like I couldn't read this book thing, but it was like that's a take. That's a take.
Right. What did you think of the flow of the book? Because that's what got me, is it would start new chapters and be like, 6 months later, and then
time
jump back to the time that they just
Yeah.
left. And so
I
it's
didn't enjoy that part. I wanted to
No.
go complete. If we're going to go chronologically, keep it all chronologically.
exactly. Like, why weren't you? Why didn't
Yeah.
you just finish what happened in that time frame?
I might
in
have
the
even
previous chapter?
preferred her point of view and then a his point of view if you were going to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Could have been done differently.
Yes.
Not a huge fan. I gave it overall it's a 3.81.
Yeah, that feels too high.
I just don't get the hype. It's just a couple of pretentious people who live normal lives. I get that part, but like, they're not even all that normal.
I
No.
tried to warn y'all.
Yeah.
I got it in my head. You recommended it.
That was almost like recommending it to you all, being
To be like, you know
y'all are
what?
gonna hate this.
You know
Yeah.
what? Let's see how much we hate it.
Ellie don't know me.
Turns out
That
you do.
must have been the thought process.
Well, I do distinctly remember you saying, whenever I mentioned the communism, you were like, now I got to read it to see if that, and that's why
Maybe
I asked
that's
about
when
it.
I added
Yeah.
it. Yes. It was just, I
Right.
don't know. It's a very boring type of book. These people
It's
are dumb.
filler.
Also, that girl's ego, my God. For someone who was like, also, can I come back to the fact that a rich girl was bullied in school? How often does that happen?
Yeah.
It's very rare, but okay.
It doesn't matter how quirky she is. The point
Yeah.
is she's got money.
Oh, and to come back to the communism as well. How dare she want communism and then go and get that scholarship for her own ego and status?
Right.
I was like,
How
do you see
dare
the
she?
problem? That's why that doesn't work. You immediately chose the selfish route when that could have helped another student who was actually in need.
Yep.
But you didn't choose it. You chose yourself.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why communism doesn't work.
Yep.
We choose ourselves.
We're too
I'm
selfish
not saying
of
that's,
people.
like always a bad thing. You need to
No.
put yourself first. No one else is going to, but like that doesn't really work as your government.
Exactly. Small scale, maybe.
Yeah.
Big scale, absolutely not.
No, yeah. Get more than
Absolutely not.
20 people and you're probably going to have some big issues.
Yeah, yeah. That's when people start becoming freeloaders,
Yeah.
not doing their part.
Well, when I
Yep.
can't sit on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways. Done.
All right.
That's all. That's all for that.
So my next one was Fourth Wing. I finished Fourth Wing. I read it January 14th through the 18th. I already had it on Audible, of course. We've talked about this several times now.
Was this a
Yes.
reread?
This was a reread, yes, in preparation for Onyx Storm. I did not start quick enough.
Still waiting.
Hence why I have not finished Onyx Storm. But this was my third time rereading. So I read it the first time. I reread it whenever Iron Flame came out. And now I've reread it again in preparation for Onyx Storm. It is so wild. This is the first time that I've read it with the Iron Flame information. So that
Don't
was...
say anything.
I'm not going to, but it is very... Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you want to do a reread like very quickly after you finish Onyx Storm, just to have all the information. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to read this on Kindle Unlimited. I wanted to get it on Kindle and physically read it this time, because there were things that I saw people point out that it was a physical thing in the book where I can't. Anybody who's read all of it, I think they know what I'm talking about, but I can't talk about it too much.
I'm gonna finish it this month, and I'm gonna finish Onyx Storm this month. So we will have a mini-sode.
Yes,
get on it.
I was about to say, if y'all are gonna do a mini-sode anyways, it's on Kindle Unlimited. I'll go ahead and make that my one I have to read this month's book, because it's already on my TBR.
Yeah, yeah,
it's already in my Kindle Unlimited too.
Yep.
Fourth Wing and
Iron Flame.
Iron Flame is long.
I will make no promises to finish 2 books.
Okay. So there's little itty bitty details in the physical writing that I noticed once I started looking up theories online after Iron Flame. They were like, how did I not notice this? And I was like, I didn't notice it because I was listening to it. And so you can't pick up on that stuff. It's wild to think about, but I didn't have time.
Don't know what's going on.
I didn't have time to physically read it instead, so I'm having to go with the Audible again. But I mean, it's still good. It's still good.
I don't know what I could have missed seeing it.
Yeah, you'll finish Iron Flame first, and then we'll get into it, because I'll send you some of the theories once you've finished it, because it's it's crazy. It is wild. Rebecca Yarros is another one of those authors that she plants these seeds and you don't even realize it until, oh my God, it's full grown.
My heart is beating so fast. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna have to finish
Iron Flame. She's gonna go home. She's gonna finish it tonight. She's gonna start Fourth Wing again. Yeah. We're gonna get a phone call.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. No one can make me dislike these books. Rebecca Yarros is just really going to have to screw up Onyx Storm for me to not like these books.
I did see a video that I didn't swap away from quickly enough to realize what it was, but there was no spoilers. It was somebody selling their Onyx Storm book, and it said slightly used, slightly ran over. It's a picture of it too. It's been hit by a car and duct taped back together. Onyx Storm.
Onyx Storm.
So I don't know what happens in this book, but some people are polarized. Like,
but
so scared.
If it's like a death or something of like one of their favorite characters, then maybe
it could be something super simple. But the fact that it was on there and it says slightly used, slightly ran over.
That's funny. So I gave this a 5 out of 5. It is a 4.58 overall. I wrote this down because it's unreal. I talked to Matthew about it, and these numbers are outrageous. This might be the highest overall rating of any book on my Goodreads currently, with the amount of people that have rated it.
Right. You usually get a solid 4 for the good ones.
Yes. Let me tell you, this is almost 2.5 million ratings. And keep in mind, you can't put more than one rating, even if it's a reread.
Yeah.
That means 2.5 million individual people have rated this. And it's a 4.58.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
I did rate it 5-star.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And that's all because of Allie.
Yeah.
Good job,
because
Allie.
of you.
You did good this time.
I redeemed myself.
So it is on Kindle Unlimited, like we've said. The next cheapest option is $10.65 on paperback.
Allie, the God of the Woods.
The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I was so excited for this book.
Okay.
The cover looks so scary. I've been told that this was a thriller. Lies. Okay.
Is there anything more disappointing?
No spice. I read it on audiobook. I read it through Libby. Listened to it from January 14th to January 21st. I rated it 3 stars. It is not a series. So I was so excited for this book. I wrote down, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but this is not what I asked for.
I gotcha. So how did you hear about this book?
TikTok.
Okay. So enough people were like...
Social media. Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Just social media in general.
I gotcha.
Let me look up.
We know how social media can be. Sometimes,
I love it.
Sometimes they don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes they do.
True. That's true.
Fourth Wing. They know what they're talking about.
Okay. God of the Woods. God of the Woods. Early morning, August 1975, a camp counselor discovers an empty bunk. Its occupant, Barbara Van Laar, has gone missing. Barbara isn't just any 13-year-old. She's the daughter of the family that owns the summer camp and employs most of the region's residents. And this isn't the first time a Van Laar child has disappeared. Barbara's older brother similarly vanished 14 years ago, never to be found. As a panicked search begins, a thrilling drama unfolds, chasing down the layered secrets of the Van Laar family and the blue-collar community working in its shadow. Moore's multi-threaded story invites readers into a rich and gripping dynasty of secrets and second chances. It is Liz Moore's most ambitious and wide-reaching novel yet. Okay, so again, the book is called The God of the Woods. I wrote, what does the name have to do with the plot? What is the point of 2 of these points of views? Am I an idiot? Did I miss something? I do feel like I've missed something. Like I don't understand.
I gotcha.
I do feel like I've missed something. I need you all to read this book to tell me if I've missed something.
Okay. Okay.
Like, explain it to me. Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Okay? There's multiple points of view. There is the mom of Barbara Van Laar. I believe her name is Alice. Her story is heartbreaking, but also you are criminally insane. And then there's a camp counselor who is getting blamed for things that she didn't do. There is the detective who everybody calls Judy, but her name is Judita. Judyta, pronounced Judita. Poor girl still lives with her mom and dad, and her mom and dad are very traditional. You don't leave the house unless you get married. And she's a detective. She has to go to different cities and get up early in the morning and come in late at night. And her parents are like, where were you? What were you doing?
God.
I'd be like,
Work.
I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
She has to wake up at 4 a.m. just to be able to travel back to this town.
Good Lord.
To be at work at 8. And then whenever she says, I'm going to spend the night at a hotel because I can't keep coming in at 12 o'clock, waking up at 4.
Yeah.
Can't keep doing it.
No.
Her dad comes and finds her and tries to get her to come back home.
My God.
Crazy. Anyways, there's so many like subplots along with this book.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Anyways, so you may want to cut this part. Another heartbreaking story about mediocre rich white men getting away with everything. I'm just saying. That's not spoiling anything because you don't know what he got away with because
do you know what he got away with?
Yes. I don't know.
Burn.
I
can't spoil it. I don't know what happened.
You got a point.
That sound's not going to stop me. I can't read.
Why do you think I listen to all these books?
I can't read.
I don't understand the hype.
I gotcha.
I just don't get it.
That sucks.
This has been the month of no hype.
It did have a crazy plot twist, though. Didn't see it coming.
Nice.
Maybe that's the hype.
Maybe. Didn't see it coming. I wasn't that excited about it because I just wasn't that excited about the rest of the book.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, cool.
Right.
No, it wasn't like a, what?
Yeah.
It was just like a,
It wasn't a slap you in the face type of. I gotcha.
I wasn't interested in the rest of it, so why would I be interested in that?
Right.
That's all I have to say about that.
Me.
Oh, yay.
Next book is Happy Place by Emily Henry.
Okay.
I'm excited because I'm in line for this and I'm still on the several month wait.
Are you? Okay, let me tell you this. I have been on the several month wait for a long time.
Yeah.
And I got this book finally on Libby on January 22nd. And I finished it on January 22nd. Because...
Oh, no. Is this another one I just wanted it to be over?
No. Totally off the tangent of the book. I couldn't find my library card. So I went to the library to get another one. And I went up to the counter. The girl lady's like, it'll be $2 since you've just lost it and it's not expired. And I said, cool, awesome. And she's like, are you sure you're not going to find it? You know, because I'm going to erase this one out of the system. I was like, I'm not going to lie. I'll probably find it the second I get out to the car with this new card. I'm going to find my other one. She doesn't even, she deletes that card out of the system and scans the new one. And my library card is hanging on my keychain. I looked at her and said, has it ever happened that fast? And she was like, no, I can't say it has.
It's a new record.
Yeah, I was like standing here, just cleared it out. So what does that mean? That means my Libby, all of my holds, gone. I had just accepted this one before walking into the library, and I was so terrified I was going to lose access to the book before I finished it that I had to finish it that day.
Oh, my
I was trying to play with my son and listen to it at the same time. I was like, I feel so bad, but this is the only time Mommy's doing this. I promise.
Right.
We're on 2.5 speed.
Oh, yeah.
Because things started, I got a few that came available that I tried to accept too. Already started declining on those that it was like, we need to verify your card. I was like, no, I've got to finish the one I have because this was a long wait.
Right.
I'm not waiting again for this. Oh my God. So that's the drama with Happy Place. It's a great book.
Okay, good.
I rated it 4 stars. Overall, it's a 3.97.
Okay.
And it's a beach read kind of thing. It's
gotcha.
just, it is what it is, but I loved it. It
but
was a
you know
good
what
one.
you're getting into. It's
Yes.
not like a...
You start out with a separated couple, and then you run from there, and everybody has not so normal relationships.
Okay.
So it's the opposite of normal people.
Yes, basically. It was really good. I hated it at the start and was like, this is stupid. And then by the end, I was like, you're right. So it was an emotional roller coaster, but it is a beach read. So take it for what it is. But
Yeah.
So what's the description?
Oh, yeah. You all might want to know that. It's a very popular book. Everyone knows Happy Place. Come on. Harriet and Wynn have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobsters and rolls. Except now, for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 6 months ago and still haven't told their best friends.
I do remember. I do remember this one from our game.
Yes.
But continue.
Which is how they find themselves sharing the largest bedroom at the main cottage that has been their friend group's yearly getaway for the last decade. Their annual respite from the world. I think I said that wrong. Where for one vibrant blue week they leave behind their daily lives, have copious amounts of cheese, wine, and seafood, and soak up the salty coastal air with the people who understand them most. Only this year, Harriet and Wynn are lying through their teeth while trying not to notice how desperately they still want each other, because the cottage is for sale, and this is the last week they'll all have together in this place. They can't stand to break their friends' hearts, and so they'll play their parts. Harriet will be the driven, surgical resident who never starts a fight, and Wynn will be the laid-back charmer who never lets the cracks show. It's a flawless plan, if you look at it from a great distance and through a pair of sunscreen-smeared sunglasses. After years of being in love, how hard can it be to fake it for one more week in front of those who know you best? It's a good story.
Yeah.
Also, I loved reading about this town. It's something Harbor, but as they described everything in it, it was like Bar Harbor, and it's in Maine. And they mentioned Stephen King and Acadia National Park, which is connected to Bar Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I've been to this town that they're talking about, which is awesome. And it's adorable. So I suggest everybody go to Bar Harbor, Maine. It's so pretty.
I love that.
But it was a good beach read.
Yeah.
Good beach read book.
Good.
That's all I got to say on that, though.
You gave it 4 stars, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm glad I'm already in line for it.
I'll have to get in line.
Hopefully you'll get it by the summer. That would be a perfect time for you to get that book.
Yeah.
If it's a several month wait, then there's a chance.
Exactly.
So you're saying I have a chance.
All right, Allie. I'm excited to hear about this one.
I read Juicy Pickle.
I'm so invested.
We've been talking about it for months.
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't bad.
Really?
Really?
It wasn't bad.
I just assumed this had to be horrifically cheesy.
It was cheesy.
Right?
You got
It's
it with
all
the
about
name,
the
though.
vibe going in with something,
Right.
knowing what it's going to be.
Right.
Yes.
You know it's going to be cheesy.
Yeah.
The name is Juicy Pickle.
Is it about a real pickle?
Okay, so what it is there was another series before this that talks about this guy's cousins, who are the Pickles.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were
Kind of
going to say
like
the
Tommy
cucumbers.
Pickles. Kind of like the last name Pickles.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So his
my
last name,
God.
I cannot remember his last name at the moment, but it's not like
Is it juicy?
his. No, it's like Albright or something like that. Like it just. I was like, where the heck did these pickles come from? Anyways, his uncle gave him, started a business and had him take over. And they are hiding the relationship between the CEO and the founder, basically.
Okay.
So he's like this big tough guy because he wants people to know, he's the grumpy guy. But really, whenever you get to know him, he's joking around and drinking. And, it's a whole thing. Every time he talks, he's like, all of my workers think that I'm such a tough guy. But really, I just want to get on the bar and karaoke and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, you're cool. And you're hot.
You're quirky.
Yeah. And you're hot because this guy is hot.
Nice.
Yes. Very hot. Okay. I rated it 3-star. I gave it 3 chili peppers too.
Oh.
Ooh.
So it doesn't go into Cassie and Nesta detail.
Okay.
And it's smut with a little whodunit, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
A smutty
So-
whodunit. How can y'all have smut when you're trying to figure out who done a crime?
So let me read the synopsis because the synopsis is the plot is kind of interesting.
It's never would have guessed it with a title like Juicy Pickle.
Right. Can you imagine getting stuck alone on a deserted island with the person you hate most in the world? Well, that's me, Bailey Johansson, former assistant to the absolute worst boss ever to boss in the boss world. Stranded on a tiny island owned by a cruise line in an abandoned party hut. In a tropical storm, this is not a love story. It's not a tale of redemption or heroism. It's a revenge drama. No, a revenge comedy. Because I'll get the last laugh. The cruise ship leaving early due to an approaching storm while we yelled at each other on the opposite beach was a sign. Every time I'm in...
Have you seen that video?
No.
What's your name?
Tony! Oh, of course I've seen that video. Come on now.
Screaming match from the other shore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was heartbroken you didn't know. Sorry.
I'm going to get that man back for everything he did to me. I've decided that Mr. Juicy, as my old coworkers called him, yeah, that's a story, is going to rue the day he ever fired me. And no, I'm not going to fall in love with him. At least I better not. For doing what it said it's going to do, it's not bad.
Okay. I trust you with it.
Mr. Juicy? Okay.
Okay.
She said, okay. Oh my God. It's not bad.
No, I trust you. I'm just. This is just how I sound. This is just how I sound. Okay. Okay. I'm locked in. I'm locked in. I'm gonna have to give this a try.
So
I'm trying. I'm trying.
you are.
I'm trying. No, I might have to give it a. So was it on Kindle Unlimited or was
It's
it a
on
stuff
Kindle
your
Unlimited.
Kindle day?
No, it's Kindle Unlimited.
Okay, then yes, I can give it a try. Why did you say that?
Because you're a liar. You're gonna pull a typical Hannah and you're gonna yell at me for recommending this book.
I gotta keep the theme going. But I'll know what I'm getting into.
It does what it promises.
There we go. He's juicy. He's a pickle.
Okay, so that's a whole other thing. In the book, okay, so they're stranded on this island.
Right.
Middle of summer. Hot, hardly any shade because this tropical storm comes through, blows down like the only hut is like an old life vest hut or whatever. Yeah. So they've got hardly any shade. They've got minimal water.
Oof.
Like they're talking about doing the whole
Boiling
getting
it.
condensation and stuff. Yeah. They're talking about that. So they're going to risk but they did find these pouches of margarita mix with tequila already in them. So they're going to risk drying themselves out by drinking tequila. They are eating oysters, salty oysters, and pickles.
Bruh.
Which are salty.
Dehydrating.
Yeah.
All of them are dehydrating. Okay.
Yeah, it's vinegar and salt is like the main ingredients of making a pickle.
I wrote down
cucumbers.
grow up for real. Then
They call their boss juicy. I mean,
yeah. And I said, how are you going to pee after sex if you're so dehydrated? Be nice to your urinary tract, please. Come on now. Sex on the beach without having hardly any water. You can't pee afterwards. You're going to get sand up in there. Not only are you going to get a UTI, but you're going to get a yeast infection.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
No wonder they're yelling at each other.
Be nice to your coochie.
She's probably in pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no wonder she slept with him. She's delirious. She hates him.
It was all a mirage.
Yeah. But the premise is good. The characters are not bad, for it to be what it is.
Right.
You gotta and then the smut was good. It's not the best, but it was smut,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Totally thought this was going to be a smut only book, and it still is, but I kind of got into the Lost on an Island story, so.
Gotcha.
And that's all I have to say about that. It is on Kindle Unlimited.
Nice.
So if you're dipping your toe into the smut world, maybe don't start with this, but but it's no Cassian and Nesta. Okay.
now it's me and Hannah.
Yay!
Different dates.
What was yours?
I'm excited.
What was your dates?
I'm going
God.
to put
What
my
was
mic
yours?
down and I'm just going to listen.
I read it from January 23rd to January 29th.
Nice.
Yes, on Libby Audio. Skip the line.
You go, girl. I read it January 1st through January 25th on Kindle.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to change my star rating, actually.
Where are you changing it to?
I put down a 4.
I did
4
too.
star. And I just realized I just said I'm going to reread it when because there's supposed to be another one coming out. Is it this year or next?
It's this year. It's October 7th.
I will be rereading
2025.
this because
Yeah.
I need it fresh on my mind. So that's a 5 for me
Yeah.
because I don't
Yes.
reread books.
Nice.
So I'm changing that. It's overall a 4.05. What did you rate it? 4?
I rated it a 4.
Yeah.
I think I rated
Yeah.
it a 4 too.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of was like, it's not finished, but then I'm thinking I can't pull a Hannah.
Ah!
So
It is on Kindle Unlimited, but the next cheapest option, it's only $1.99 on Kindle if you don't have Kindle Unlimited.
oh, okay.
That's a good Kindle book right there.
That is.
That's a good Kindle price. I like that. So, what else did you have to say about it?
Well, that's all I've got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Okay. But
I just
I
have
love it.
one more book for the rest of the month.
Sorrows and
Sorrow and
Sorrows.
Bliss. Actually, so I'm going to spoil a little surprise that I have for everybody, that I have for you all. I got this from a little thing that my Aunt Kim, shout out Aunt Kim. So this is called Plot Twist. You can get this, I believe, on Amazon. This is season 1, so it's fiction. What this is, there are little cards. I will show you mine. They're recommendation cards. And so, for example, this first one is thriller. They're different genres. We've got contemporary and literary fiction. This was mine for Sorrow and Bliss. So this was chosen. This book offers a raw and realistic portrayal of mental health, something we believe is important to share. It has an ability to navigate heavy themes with humor and grace. The page count is 352. Audiobook length is 10 hours and 38 minutes. It was published in 2020. It is not a series, and the book feel is elusive fulfillment. You scratch it off, you read what you want, like you pick from the cue cards.
Because it gives you a little description on the why was it chosen.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all would want to do this for a book club, and then we can kind of.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually,
or if you just want to do
let's hear
it
your
for your
review
next
of
reads.
Sorrow and Bliss.
Yes,
So
and then
Sorrow and Bliss, it is very deep. Like it does have some funny moments. Yeah,
it's called
it
Sorrow
talks about
and Bliss.
depression. Yeah, it talks about depression and this woman's life with it. Actually, she gets diagnosed with a mental illness. It does not say what the mental illness is in the books. It is referred to as X. I listened to this book. It was I was able to get it automatically through Libby.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I finished it January 26th. No spice. I listened to it. This girl had a lot of bad things happen to her, but I have never had to deal with mental illness in this regard.
Right.
I do have anxiety. So I'm medicated for that. So, but it's hard for me to personally feel sorry for someone who complains about everyone, hurts the people closest to them on purpose, goes out of their way to make their own life miserable, and then blames other people. Yes, she has depression and I feel terrible, but also she is like...
Are you sure you didn't read A Court of Silver Flame? Are we talking about Nesta here?
Yes.
Does she at least have the growth that Nesta has?
Oh, I don't like the face.
Yeah, no.
You don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
We got it.
Because that's the main reason.
It was almost forced upon her.
I gotcha.
You know, like she didn't do anything to help her situation out.
I gotcha.
At 17, this girl goes to the doctor with her mom. The doctor tells her, hey, this is what we think she has. The mom freaks out and leaves. So this woman knows that at 17 years old, she was there at this doctor's office hearing what the doctor said. And it's like she just... because her mom was like, no, even though her and her mom don't get along. Then whenever another doctor says, hey, you know, she's like closer to her 40s now or something like that. The doctor's like, hey, I think that this is what you have. She's like, I remember the doctor telling my mom this and my mom didn't tell me that I had it. So now it's her fault.
But you were there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why didn't you do...
And you were 17. You weren't 10.
Right.
It's not like you didn't have an understanding of what
And
was
you've
going on.
had double the amount of time to look into this to be
Yeah.
like, well, that
What
doctor
is
did
that?
say that one time.
Yeah.
You know?
At least go home and Google it.
Right. So that was like a big thing. Like that stuff like that happened constantly.
Gotcha.
The medicine that she was on, the doctors kept telling her that she couldn't have kids. So she just didn't want kids. Trigger warning, there is a loss of a child in this book. So it is tough. Not only her reaction to it, it is a deep, tough, like heartbreaking thing. But this whole time she's like, I don't want a child. 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 Well, then she like has a complete breakdown and she screams at her husband after she finds out that this medicine, actually you could be pregnant while on this medication. I'm sure it's a deeper meaning than me being like, this girl's frustrating.
Right.
You know, I'm sure that there's like this is how we always feel. That was the end of My month.
It was at least a 3 for
Yes.
the game, though. So
Yes.
I would be open to trying that.
Yeah.
So you had 2 more. Well, you finished When the Moon Hatched.
And then I had 2 more for the year.
That's crazy.
For the month.
Secret Santa.
I finished
saw that
Secret
this was
Santa.
a 2-star.
I saw that.
What did
didn't
you rate it?
I rated it 3.
3.
Yeah.
I read it from December 12th through January 30th. By Amy Tackett. I had it on Kindle Unlimited.
Yes.
My problem was that it had me spooked in the beginning,
Right.
but there were so many plot holes that I lost interest, and I started out with the looking over my shoulder feel, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Why is this all happening? This is so scary. And then I started logically thinking about some of the things that occur, and it doesn't make sense.
I got you.
So I lost my fear
I got you.
and was just trying to get it over with at that point.
Were you surprised with Rebecca?
I was.
Do you see what I mean about it
yeah.
being so...
la 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 la.
I was gonna say you may not actually want to read this book.
Really?
Well, one of the main characters is Isla,
Yeah.
so I don't think you would want to read it.
Nah.
To be honest.
Okay.
Nah. How did you
It's
feel
on
about
my
the
Kindle Unlimited. I have
Yeah.
it. I have it saved.
Did you find it sacrilegious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a bit
Yeah.
actually. Have you read up on this author?
No.
She purposely puts Christian stuff in there. It's supposed to be, like a side quest, is finding God along the way. Did not get that vibe here at all.
No.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just not this book. I don't know. I went to her Facebook page and everything was like, because I wanted to know how old she was.
Right.
Because to me, it felt so immature.
Yeah, it
that
felt
there was
young.
no way somebody with our fully developed brains could have written this.
Right.
She's my age. So she's older than you all.
That does feel weird
Yeah. It felt very immature.
for it to be...
For these plot holes. They
Yeah.
seem like it's really based on emotional reactions that teens would have.
Yeah.
And they're not teenagers. The characters are also 30.
Yeah.
I mean, there's portions of it they go back to college and high school, but the whole big ordeal, they're 30.
They're way too old for that stuff.
She's 30.
This is the one that we were talking about, that the friend group is
Yeah,
like
the
super
Chads.
toxic.
Yeah.
God, it's a horrible group. They do not need to be friends.
Yeah.
But I was very shocked at Rebecca. But then also...
Were you more shocked at Rebecca, or were you more shocked at the ending with the mother?
I gave a little bit of a for that one, but it was more like and now we're gonna have some poor plot holes again. I don't think I'll be continuing if this does go into another book. 'Cause
Surely
it does
not.
leads into another.
Surely not. I think it's
But-
just leading the reader to believe that
Yeah.
she's about to go do something absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think she left herself the door open.
Yeah, the door's
for it.
open.
I don't think I'll continue if there were to be, but I'm
No.
like you. It can end there and just know it's gonna be crazy.
Right.
Round 2.
Right.
I don't know. There were so many things though that after about the halfway point, I was like,
I got
I
you.
can't be scared anymore. This couldn't have happened.
I got
This
you.
would not be what would happen, like logically.
Right.
I don't know.
And you had one more too.
I finished The Best Way to Bury Your Husband
You did
by
it!
Alexia
Yay!
Casali.
You did it!
I think she started in
October the 3rd.
okay.
I finished it January 31st.
Wow.
I had 30 pages when I finished it yesterday. Yeah. I read this physical, and my only comments are, ugh. 1 star, 3.69 overall.
Wow.
But it's done. The deed is done.
Yes.
I finished
We've
it. I
made
did
it.
not officially DNF it. It's done.
Yes.
We've made it.
There was a
Girl.
small plot twist at the end that was cute, but I had assumed this was coming for like several chapters.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Several months, really.
Yeah, several months. Yeah. It took me longer to read it than this story spans across its own like time
Own
period. Literally, the whole timeline might be a month, and I took 3. So
That's funny. That's
so funny.
Hey, at least it's done.
It's done.
That's what matters.
I accidentally DNF'd, and I think it may be a permanent DNF. The second book.
No, you have to push through. I understand that the second one's not the best. I understand.
Wait.
It's on my lowest end as well.
Oh, Harry Potter.
No.
Oh, honey.
Scared her.
You
got her
said
talking
the
about
second.
Harry
I was
Potter.
like, oh no.
I was like, what the heck?
What was it? Then the second one.
Across the Sea or something like that.
Somewhere Beyond the Sea.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm happy with the bow that.
Yeah.
Was
And that's why
put
I haven't tried yet.
What's the first book?
under this
House in the Cerulean Sea.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for DNFing that one. You said the second one, and I was like, God, no. God, no.
No, I had a lot of books on
Yeah.
Libby that came up on Kindle, so I'm pausing.
Yeah.
So that because I don't have a weight limit, and I don't have I have to do it in a certain amount of time. So
I understand. I'll allow it.
As long
make
as
sure you
it
get back
wasn't
on
about
it.
that book.
Yes, exactly. All right. So that completed another reading debrief for us.
Yes.
We've done it again. That was round 6. Crazy.
6?
3
That was
hours
6
and
months?
15
Wait,
minutes.
no, is this our 20th?
This is our 20th episode.
Is it?
Yes, this one exactly.
Is it?
Yeah.
So we are in the top 10%
10%.
of all podcasts that start. That I saw a statistic that said 90% of podcasts do not make it past 20 episodes.
Here we are.
So we are in 10% of podcasts that make it past 20 episodes.
Does that make us good, or does that just make us stubborn?
good. This is a good podcast.
Yes.
Little bit of
My personal goal, and I think we've talked about this, is to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year.
Yes.
So
We're at 90.
share us.
Yes.
Talk about us.
Please.
Shout out
Yes.
to the guy that listens to us while he hikes the Appalachian Trail, by the way.
Yes.
I saw that and I was like, oh, hi. I'm glad we remind you of people.
More power to you. I couldn't imagine.
Why don't
Hiking.
you send me some videos of you hiking and I can live vicariously through that?
There we go.
Because I'm never going to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I'm
It's not
way
me.
too-
I look over my shoulder
Scared
in
of
my
falling.
living room,
Right.
afraid of something going to get me.
Yes.
Be in the woods.
Oh, God. No, thank you.
Everything's going to get me.
But shout out to you.
scared
Thank
of
you
feral
so
people.
much. We are on Instagram, TikTok,
Woo,
Facebook.
it stayed on.
Yes. We're back, baby.
Make us viral before these 90 days are
Yeah,
up.
please.
We're gonna stay as long as possible on TikTok. We had 15 hours of
The longest 15 hours of my life.
but we're
Literally.
back, baby. So follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, The Unfinished TBR. We've got an email, theunfinishedtbr@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. You might as well come say hi. And you might
Rate
as well
and
subscribe.
review.
Rate and
Share.
review. Please. We love you. We want to keep giving out quality content. Also, we are going to be discussing another book club come
Yes.
March. And we want your input. We want what's on your TBR that you've been putting off and you want us to read as a group.
Or what did you read that was so good we have to read
We
it?
have to
Yeah.
read it.
You want somebody to talk about it with.
Actually,
Yes.
what's on your reading list that was so bad you want us to be mad about it? Because sometimes those
I
are the
will
best ones.
Gladly. I will gladly rip a book apart. Thank you very much. Figuratively,
Please let us
obviously.
know which one it is, too.
Yes. Yes. So, what were your reads this month? What's on your TBR? What kind of book would you like to see in a book club? Drop a comment down below and we'll pick a selection out of what's commented. Comment anywhere, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and send us an email and we will consider your option and who knows, you might get picked.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop.
So join us next week for another episode. Love you,
Yes.
babies. Mwah. Have a good week.
Peace out.